Hey everybody, Barry at CTech-review. Today I want to go over comparing the 2025, the refreshed RAM 2500 and 3500 HD versus the outgoing 2024 RAM HD. Purpose of today's video is, let's see what is it worth to you to get an 8-speed transmission for 2025. Let's look at the price changes from 24 to 25, the option changes from 24 to 25. We're going to look at 2500 and 3500. And then we're going to see what's available and offers out here and ask yourself, how bad do you really want that 8-speed transmission? Let's get into this. All right, right here, what I have up is the RAM site for building just different models. And the first thing I want to show you guys is, here's a 24. We're going to try to compare as apples to apples as possible. Same color, same cab, same configuration. Focus to also on the Bighorn. Reason B for this, I'll get into Laramie and above, is at these lower trim levels where cost is important. How does this impact your pricing and your budget? First thing I notice, we obviously all know that the front end is different, but do you notice anything else different? Here's 24, here's 25. Obviously the grill's a little different. First thing I notice is, look at these wheels here. Look at the wheels there. Look at the LED fog lights, no fog lights. So from what I see, in 2025, you're getting bumped at a Bighorn entry level. You're going from a steel wheel to an aluminum wheel. That's good. Also, you're getting fog lights for 2025. Also, check out the price, $54,510 starting price. Haven't selected one option. This is straight, basic, first build on a Bighorn for $57,000. So we're talking about a $3,000 difference of lower MSRP for 2025. That's about 5%. That's a big drop. And the fact that we're seeing fog lights and better wheels, that's a good start. And this is a 3500 Bighorn, like I mentioned. Now, I want to kind of go down here now, and you can see, look, polished wheels standard now for 2025 versus the steel wheel. Okay, confirmed. Now, let's just look here at the interior. So, base level, haven't selected an option. Boom. Pretty big difference. You go from the basic 5-inch Uconnect screen. Here's your standard gauges, and look at this. This is your standard analog gauges, which actually I don't mind the analog gauges. I'm old school with that, and I appreciate that. Versus, actually the gauges stayed the same for the base model, but you do jump to the 8.4-inch Uconnect screen. And if we look, it looks like we get a few more options down here. I need to confirm that, but that's good to see. If we wanted a 12-inch display for 2025, let's see how much this bumps the price. Choose. We're going to go, it looks like the lowest option is a level 1. Now let's go here. Let's go to the 12-inch. Choose. So your option of lowest cost would be a sport appearance package. So the next level up, level 1 with the 12-inch display. So this is the display on a 24. Here's the display on 25. You can tell you got a little bit different coloring around the sides. Looks a little more premium, I have to say. But now if we look at the pricing, we're at $57,205 versus $59,000. So there's still about a $2,000 difference with the 24 being actually more expensive. Now let's jump this, because most people that buy a 3500, the biggest thing they care about is what engine does it have. In 2024, you had 2 Cummins engines options. You had the standard output and the high output. Most people that work their trucks pretty hard prefer the high output. For 2025, you only have the one option, which is the high output. Has a little bit more power than last year, but the big reason why you go with the 2025 is right here. You get the ZF 8-speed transmission. Now, let's just bump this to the apples to apples. Let's just see. So you're at $12,595, but we will go standard output because they offered this option. Let's see how much the price is now. $69,385 for 24 versus $68,000. So we're still $1,300 less in 2025 MSRP to MSRP versus 2024, and you don't even get the high output. Now we jump to the high output, because let's compare apples to apples. Almost, actually, $4,000 less for 2025. Okay, all great and dandy. So you said, dude, I want an 8-speed transmission. I want the all new Cummins engine. Totally get it. Let's just see what the grand total is. 72,185 versus 68,000. So here's your different front end. Kind of see not a whole lot of difference there. Okay, now let's jump to the 2,500. So here's your base. Haven't selected an option. Red 2,500 Bighorn versus the 25. First thing you notice, strangely enough, on the 2,500, and I don't understand the logic here, it actually went up $700. And this is why I wanted to look at multiple configurations, because these OEMs sometimes do some interesting pricing strategies. So for 2025, Ram is getting on their base Bighorn, the 3,500 went down in price, but in 2025 for the 2,500, it actually went up in price. That doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is, okay? So we're $700 more for a 2,500 in 25 versus 24. Now, let's just go down here, guys. We're just gonna get right into this. Here's the interior of the 2,500 versus the interior of the 2,500 24. First thing you obviously notice is the same theming with the Bighorn. They carry over the bigger display, blah, blah, blah. We know that. We're not expecting that. Let's jump to the Cummins, and this is where you see an opposite situation. The 2,500 is actually $3,000 more in 2025, but the 3,500 is a few $1,000s less. I don't get it either. With that being said, it's exciting for people that wanted a high output diesel in a 2,500 and didn't want the leaf sprung rear suspension. Dude, you got it now for 2,500. So if you want that ride comfort, you're not chasing big payload, this is pretty sweet. But let's just throw another thing into the mix here. Let's jump it all the way up to a limited. Okay, confused again. So if we jump all the way to the limited is actually in 2025, $8,000 less, about 10% lower MSRP. I haven't selected one option. So what's interesting is in 2025, you actually have the choice of if you want a gas engine or the Cummins in the limited. You didn't have that option in 2024. It was just the Cummins. So that's why the starting price was $8,000 more. So when we compare apples to apples, you're actually up $4,000 in 2025 versus the 2024 because of that new high output Cummins. All right, let's do the exact same thing on a limited, but we're actually gonna go to a mega cab. Starting price, man, really close. The difference is about $2,000 more for a limited for 2025. You can kind of see the difference. I also see some options included in 2025. You're getting Ram boxes in the mega cab. You're getting the bars that go, the step bars. So you are getting actually some content for that extra $2,000. Let's see about engine options. All right, now let's look at the interior. This is where we're gonna start seeing some big differences from 24 to 25. The standard in 24, even on a limited, was the 8-inch display, where in 25, you're jumping all the way to the 14.4-inch display. And you can kind of see there's not much difference. Steering wheel's the same. Center console's very similar. You got a little bit different stitching pattern and whatnot in the seating, but overall the dash layout and most of that is the same because it's still the same old school cab that they've been running for a while. Now, just for perspective, let's jump this 24 up to the 12-inch display, and I think this shows a different picture. 93,000 versus 92,800. The 24 is actually more expensive than the 25. Now let's jump to the Cummins. It's already standard for the 25. Now you can jump up to the high output. You can do both versions in 24. Now we look at this situation right here, guys. So $96,005 for a 24 limited 3,500 mega cab versus $92,855. So you save about $3,000 MSRP with the new 8-speed transmission in 2025. Revised front end, and actually looking at this photo more, I like the 4 projector headlights on the front end. I do actually think the new front end looks pretty sharp on the limited. I'm not a fan of the Rebel. Look, the checker pattern just looks like a little bit busy, but I think it looks pretty sharp. It definitely, with the wheels and some of the things, they modernized this old cab, which is nice to see. But now most importantly, let's compare this to what's available with discounts out there right now. If we go to Mark Dodge right now, on leftover 24 Rams, man, there's huge discounts. $14,000 off, $15,000 off. Let's see what they got for, here's 15 grand off MSRP, 15,000, consistent 15,000. Let's jump to a 3,500 now. Let's just go right all the way to a limited. See what kind of discounts we're looking at. $16,000 off. So you get 16 grand in discounts right now if you're willing to go to a 24 versus the refreshed new engine, new transmission, revised exterior on the 2025. So you might save $3,000 on MSRP, but there might be $16,000 more in discounts. We don't know what rebates are gonna be like on the 2025 yet because Dodge has not released that information. I'm gonna show you guys this right now. If we go to, lastly, let's go and look at incentives right here. Okay, you want to see the rebates on a 25? This is what it shows. Please contact your local dealer because they don't know either. Click on a 3,500, please contact your dealer. You just gotta ask yourself, 8-speed transmission, new iron block, new turbo, new revised 6.7, updated interior, a little bit of refresh outside. What's that worth to you? A year newer? I don't know. To some, it might be worth it. I think that if rebates were similar, it'd be a no-brainer to jump to the 25 because generally what I'm seeing is the 25 looks to be a better value. Also, something else to think about. With this new 8-speed transmission, not only will it have better power, do you think it's going to get better fuel economy, which is also going to cut into your cost of ownership? If it did what Ford did when they went from the 6-speed to the 10 speeds, you picked up a mile or so per gallon. So that might make it make sense for you. Anyhow, guys, I hope you find this video helpful. If you guys want me to dive into some other models and just kind of compare pricing, let me know. Thanks for watching.